What are they looking at? What all that? Okay, community solar, it's here. It's going to be taken. I mean, we have around 350 to 400 pre-applications for community solar units that are looking, that have found land, and they're trying to figure out what's out there from our load standpoint, from our line standpoint, for our available voltages, all that, to be able to put a 2 megawatt system out there on that land. Community solar, you're gonna see that it's actually called several different things. Community solar, aggregated net metering, virtual net metering. It's really all the same stuff. Okay, we're even internally trying to find out what the right terminology to use for customers, so they really know what it is. Aggregated net metering sometimes it can kind of confuses customers, normal customers. What is aggregated net metering? Community solar kind of takes on a lot of more people know what community solar is. Okay, because that's how the news communicates it, that's how the paper communicates it. So we're really looking to put the portal in as a community solar, even though in the naming of it is community solar, but it's not just solar. It could be a wind farm too that could be doing this aggregated net metering. How does it work in Illinois? We have subscribers. A community solar unit goes directly to the grid. It's not behind a customer's meter. Okay? It's not, think about that. It's not behind people that are with companies here. It would not be behind your meter. A 2 megawatt system would go directly to the grid. Okay? That unit owner would then find subscribers to subscribe to that unit. That gets allocated kilowatt hours. The kilowatt hours that goes out to that grid that month would be allocated based on the allocation that subscriber or that unit owner allocated to it. For instance, if it was 1,000 kilowatt hours that month that it was pushed out, they had 10 subscribers for 10% of that unit, they would all get 100 kilowatt hours towards their bill that month. That's how it would work. Obviously I'm simplifying things because it could be 200 customers, it could be 100 customers, and they would allocate it on a percentage basis of the total load that comes out that month. Okay? So that's kind of how it works. And the customer itself, the subscriber, would be under the net metering rules. Under the net metering rules, and they would get compensated on their supply only. They would not get compensated on the delivery or the taxes, just the supply portion. I want to show you here on our Ameren, Illinois page, a lot of the information on this community solar is out there on our page. Okay, go to Ameren, Illinois, you'll go to renewables, which is right here. It's a little blurry right here, but it's renewables. You'll go into that, and inside renewables you have all the net distributed generation, has all of your applications for interconnection. You have a community solar chiclet here to click on, and there's a lot of different tutorials and helpful question and answers out there on this site. Okay, you have qualifying facilities, and I talked to a customer about that a minute ago. This Power Clerk here is a system that we're utilizing for applications, for level 1 applications, 25 kW and less. They can actually put their application in through that portal, and you'll be able to see where it's at in the process. But I want to show you these pieces and where it's at, so you can see in the distributed generation, you have your pre-applications. Pre-applications are really designed for the community solar units. A pre-application, think about it, if you're wanting to put in a 10 kW system, the application fee is $50 for the actual interconnection. Pre-application fee is $300, so you don't need a pre-application for a regular behind-the-meter 10 kW system. The pre-application gives you a 30,000 foot look at what is out there on that, where you have thought about putting that community solar unit. Gives you voltages, gives you available currents and all that. So that's where that's at. All these applications are out there. All the pieces of the whole interconnection application are here. The community solar piece, that's all here. I can tell you, I'm gonna flip through this so Liz can start on the actual portal itself and how it works. But I left these question and answers in here, so you'll have them in your packet, so you'll be able to have them to take home. Look at them, all these question and answers are out here, and I'm not gonna go through them today because we wanna get through some other things. But I wanted to leave them in here so you guys would have them in your packet. Liz Barrows is going to come up and start working through the portal. Actually, if you're a unit owner, you'd then be assigned, have a login and all that, and then this is how it would work. Liz?
Good morning, all. I'm Liz Barrows. What I'm going to show you this morning is the portal that we're in the process of creating for our generation owners to allocate their KWH to their subscribers, to their customers. To get initial access to the portal that we're speaking of here, you will have to be set up by a member of Brian's team, the Distributed Energy Resources Group. That's all determined based off of the applications. We are determining at this point whether we're going to wait until the connection is approved, or if we're going to give our generation owners access early so they can start setting up their subscribers prior to the actual connection of the generation site. Additionally, you will find through your documentation that's printed and even on the slides above, there's going to be some shift between the name Community Solar Portal and Aggregated Net Metering Portal. We are still in the creation stage of this particular piece, and the naming is kind of in the air at this point. So don't let that throw you off. It's all still the same web program. Once you're set up, you will receive an email that will provide you with your username, which is essentially the email address that we will find on the application, and a temporary password. And that's all here. Now the temporary passwords, if you're used to copying and pasting, it's going to be ideal to do that because there's symbols and all sorts of different things that you need. Once you enter it in, you hit login. You're going to get to your first time login screen, which will provide you the opportunity to set a permanent password and a secret question and answer. Once you're done, after you've set this up, that forwards you to your default page, which would then be for your generation owners. You will get the list of generation owners that are associated to your email address. In the event that you have multiple sites, you will have a list. However, if it's just the one, you will only see one. You have the opportunity to look at your user profile. If you want to change your secret question and answer or update your password, you can do that from this screen. You can add. Let me back up. If you are a generation owner, all of the owners will be added through Distributed Energy Resources Group. So for these screenshots, you're going to see different views based off of the access rights. In this particular instance, this screen is myself coming in as a tester, looking at it, getting a screenshot for you, okay? So some of these things, if you were to log in as an owner, you will not necessarily have the ability to add a generation owner. This next screen is going to take you right through the menu options at the top. You will be able to see who has access to your particular site to see your units. As a generation owner, you will have access that's labeled external admin, which are also set up through the internal admins, Brian's group. You as a generation owner will be able to add additional users to look at your units if necessary to manage whatever you need, but they will only have view-only access, which means they can come in and look at reports and pull that data if necessary. If you need additional admins so they can add more users other than yourself, you would need to communicate that with the Distributed Energy Resources Group by simply sending an email, and we'll be happy to provide that to you. Our email address is listed on all the pages that Brian discussed, the distributed generation, net metering, all of those additional sub-pages within the Generating Your Own Energy page. It provides you with the renewables Illinois at Ameren.com email address, and that's where you can send it if you do want additional admins. So once you click on Add User, again, these are all very well laid out here for you, provide you with the details for each screen. You simply fill out first and last name, provide their email address, confirm their email address. Now what we ask with the email address is that you don't use a group email address or a distribution list, as these are specific to each user, and you can only have one user logged in on that email address at a time. In the event that you use either a group email address or a distribution list, and two people try to log in at the same time, the system's going to think that it's going to be getting hacked and will lock the user out. So we don't want that to occur. So if you have multiple people that you would like to have access to this, you need to make sure they use their individual email addresses when setting them up. Now, as far as the role, I'll reiterate, the only role that you'll have as an external admin that you'll be able to select from would be external view only. In the event that you find that you would like to have somebody else added as an admin, to provide them with the authorization to adjust allocations, you would need to send an email to Renewables Illinois, and we can help you out. So again, the portal users page. In the event, let me go back here. In the event that you want to, for some reason, edit a particular user that's there, let's say you misspelled their first or last name for whatever reason. If you click on their actual name, that will take you to this next screen. This screen will, again, provide you with the ability to update the first or last name. Additionally, it will also offer you the option to reset their password. So if you have an external view only user that had only accessed this thing a couple times and has forgotten their password and the answer to their security question, you as an admin can come in here, log in, and send them a new password. Before we go any further, I want to back up. On this portal users page, you will also have the ability to lock a user out as an external admin. For whatever reason, let's say, and the only thing I can come up with at this point versus deactivating it, let's say that there's somebody who you have to give a day or two off and you don't want them to have access to this. You can lock their access. If they are no longer with the company, you can deactivate them. And the reason why we're providing you with this opportunity is they can get to this website because it is an external website, so they can go anywhere that they have internet access and log in and get to this website. So we wanted to provide you with the ability to determine whether you want somebody in there or not as a generation unit. So before we go any further, let me talk about it. Anybody have any questions? Okay. So we're going to talk about registering your subscribers. So once you have once the owner is set up, and Distributed Energy Resources has set up your unit, the owner will receive an email with that first time login saying, okay, now it's time to log in. You can come in and you can start associating or setting up your subscribers to your particular units. When you log in, you will come to your owner dashboard. You'll go up to the menu options. There's one up here that says Generation Units. You can go just immediately to this page. And it will provide you with a list of your units or your single unit, however many you have associated to your email. From this page, you can do a series of things. You can export the entire list to an Excel document. You can, on default, when it initially comes to this screen, it will automatically provide you with a list of all of your active units. In the event that you want to see all of the units you've ever had, or that you have pending that are not really doing anything at this point, you would select this checkbox that says Show Inactive Units, and your status here will be updated if you have any that are inactive, or in this case, there's pending, which means there's no subscribers there. As soon as subscribers get associated, it will become an active unit. So you'll be able to see everything. It does list these units by their owner name, and you have an ID that's associated to them. When the unit is set up for tabling purposes for behind the scenes, they have to associate a number to it. And we also provide a nickname when we're setting up these units. At this moment in time, we don't have any that we have set up for community solar in the portal, but the ones that we have set up are private on-site generation, and we're using either the business name or we're using the last name of the customer, just so we can have some kind of an association to them. So if you were to click on the unit itself, that will take you to this screen, which is the unit subscription detail. This particular screen will provide you with the ability to edit the unit profile, which is also going to allow you to add subscribers. You can drop subscribers. You will also be able to export any details that show up. Currently, of course, as you can see, there isn't anything in the tables to show any subscribers. You have the ability to select the checkbox. If you want to see all of your subscribers active and inactive, you select the checkbox and it will populate everything in that particular window. Now, if you were to select edit generation unit itself, this is what's going to populate. You're going to have the type. The generation owner name will show up. You do have the ability to transfer. If you have a particular unit that you want to transfer from one owner to the other, you can do that. You have your bill account number, the capacity of the unit, its associated nickname, excuse me, the fuel source, and now this last number is a Power Clerk number. That is another portal, if you will, web-based program that we're utilizing all of our generations for. All of our applications will eventually be through the Power Clerk piece. Right now, we're only using it for our pre-applications and our level 1. Our level 2 applications and above will eventually be in Power Clerk. We just haven't made it to that point, which is why that's not a required field. And it's not a field that you all would have. In the event that this is populated, it's populated by somebody here in DER, the Distributed Energy Resources Group. Any questions so far? Okay, so if we were to go back to, we're going to select up at the top, we're going to go ahead and go down the line and look at our subscribers. So in the event that you do have subscribers, you go to your subscribers list and it's going to list all active subscribers that you have. In the event that you want to see all of them, of course, just as it is with any of the other screens, there's a checkbox for you to show inactive subscribers. You have the ability from this screen to add your subscribers. You can export it to Excel. And this is just your basic details for your subscribers. If you want to look at the subscriber itself, you would need to click on the subscriber name. And that would, we're going to back up. So we're going to take this from adding subscribers. Okay, so if we were to click on this button to add the subscriber, it would take you to this next page. You would need to have the customer's bill account number, and in this particular field in this program, we don't ask for the hyphen, so it's a 10-digit account number. On the billing, we have a hyphen in between the 5 digits, but we don't need it in this portal. So you would need that. You would need also the meter number. The source, of course, is going to be automatically populated, I do believe. You have your generation unit that you need to select. So the generation unit, of course, you will need to select. If you have multiple generation units in your list, you would need to select the unit that you want associated to that subscriber. We do have some disclaimers that you will need to populate. One is a disclaimer saying you have received authorization from the customer to receive their usage data. The other one is saying that you have the authorization to add them as a subscriber. If the checkboxes for these disclaimers are not selected, you will not be able to add the subscriber. In the event that you have multiple subscribers that you want to add, to keep you from having to go back and forth between screens, once you enter the information, you hit save, you get your confirmation message saying the subscriber has been added. If you simply add clear, it's going to clear this screen and you can add your next subscriber. In the event that you just have one subscriber, you can then hit exit and it will take you back to the subscribers page. To move on, I had mentioned when you were on the subscribers page, if you wanted to edit that particular subscriber, all you needed to do was click on the subscriber's name. That would move you to the edit subscriber page. You would have the ability at this point to simply change the subscription KWH, and there's another checkbox there saying certain functions that you would be allowed in the event that you didn't, that big, long disclaimer at the first one, that is not a required disclaimer. So if you didn't check it there, you have the ability to check it here to obtain usage. In the event that you want to change the annual period from April to October for that customer, this is the screen in which you would need to do it. However, Ameren is able to edit that period if there's more than one subscriber. So let's say that you have a subscriber that has selected multiple generation owners. So they're getting subscribed KWH from multiple generation owners. In the event that that's the case, you would not be able to change their annual period. You would have to email the Distributed Energy Resources Group so we can look at it, review it, and determine if it's going to work during that billing period. And then we can adjust it accordingly if necessary. Okay, how are we doing? Okay. We have quite a few screens here. What I will do, this next one, and as I'm going to simply go through the reports that are available in your packet, it provides you the details with the reports as to what they look like and what's on the reports. For the sake of timing, I think we'll just go through the list, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will be done. So the reports available to our generation owners. You have your generation owner report, the generation unit subscriber bill account report, generation unit daily output report, your generation unit subscriber contract report, generation unit subscriber daily KWH allocation report, and the subscriber daily KWH allocation report. So does anybody have any questions? I'm going to pass it back to you, Karen. Thank you.
One of the things I did want to comment on this community's, thanks Liz, that's very good. One of the things that we want to communicate to everyone, that whether or not you're a subscriber, or whether or not you're a community solar unit owner, okay, that is between the PPA that's between the community solar unit and the subscriber, what the unit owner charges the subscriber to be a subscriber to their unit, how much they get, that's all between the unit owner and the subscriber. That has nothing to do with Ameren. Okay? That has nothing to do with us at Ameren. That's between the unit owner and the subscriber. Okay? Just kind of remember that that's between you and them. Okay? The unit owner and the subscriber. Okay?
But the customer receives their credit by virtue of this.
That's correct.
Right.
That's right. When the unit owner subscribes that customer and they get allocated 2% of that unit, whatever, that's 2% per month, that their output per month, whatever 2% of whatever output it was, that would be allocated to their bill on their supply side. Okay? However they would be billed, whether or not they're a DS1 residential, whether or not they're a DS2 small commercial, DS3 large commercial, or DS4 industrial. Okay? Any other questions about this? Like I said, this community solar is a hot topic, and it's really booming right now. We got about 180 actual physical 2 megawatt applications that we're under review. And I know Cody's going to talk about our review process for these 2 megawatt systems. Kind of give you the history of things. Ameren, Illinois, in our history, we've never had connections at 2 megawatt connections to a distribution circuit in our history. Okay, we've had 10 kW, we've had 100 kW behind somebody's meter, and we've had 200 megawatts wind farm on our transmission lines. But we've never had a 2 megawatt system put on our distribution circuit, like a 12 kV circuit. So our distribution engineers, quite frankly, was looking around at each other going, how do we